Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Honey Podcast YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Pamela Dragalov, and I'm so excited to film today's episode. Today we're going to discuss some of the major lessons that I've learned in 2023. These have been super transformational, they're major takeaways, and I think it's something that all of you can resonate with in some way, shape, or form, or even if you don't, take some of that advice and apply it to yourself in whatever way that is possible. We're going to start with the first lesson that I think is very important for each of you to understand, and that is that tomorrow is never promised. Start living in the moment, taking advantage of the little things, and romanticizing your life. Stop waiting for the next best thing to come. It's an unrealistic expectation, and you're always going to crave something more and something better. Once you receive that grade you've been working hard towards, or finally receive the job offer you've been waiting for, you're gonna reach that point and you're always gonna crave more. So if you don't learn to live in the moment and be appreciative, thankful of what's right in front of you, you're gonna keep reaching towards a higher expectation. And I'm not saying that you don't need to be ambitious and establish goals for yourself, but learn how to live in your present moment. I think it's really important to stop waiting for those happy moments and learn to live through them presently. If you really want to use that special perfume of yours or ask that person you've had a crush on a date, just go for it. There's no reason you should be holding back. And at the end of the day, there's nothing to lose. Another major learning curve and lesson that I learned in 2023 is to stop worrying about the things that are out of your control. Uncertainty is a natural part of life. So instead of dwelling on what might happen, learn to embrace the unknown. Make sure to establish realistic expectations for yourself and others, and things won't always go according to plan, so make sure you're prepared for that. It is important to remember that you can't control how other people perceive you or their expectations of you. It is not in your control how others' emotions and reactions are to certain situations. So stop worrying about what someone else is doing, because that is not your responsibility, and that's taking on so much more than you can handle. And I think it's really important to understand that a lot of people's emotional responses to things can be influenced by such a variety of factors that we behind closed doors don't know why that is. And if you think that someone in your life is responding negatively at that time or isn't treating you the way you feel you should be treated, I think it's important to have that conversation with them and try to better understand why that may be. I think it's most important how we learn to respond to those situations. I'll give you all an example of this. So when you're driving down the street and there's a major car accident that happens and you're in such a rush to get to work or an appointment or to meet someone, or you plan a vacation and it's going to be raining the entire time, or someone you love becomes extremely ill. However, what you can control in your life is the way you treat others, your attitude towards certain situations, how you perceive a situation, or even your financial decisions that you make on a day-to-day. Another super important lesson that I learned that I can't emphasize enough is to make time for people that make time for you. Those who want to be around you and spend time with you will do everything in their power to do so. So invest your energy into people that equally set you as a priority. If you're the only friend that spends time reaching out, messaging, checking in, that is not a balanced and reciprocated relationship. I have a 2-time rule, and all of my close friends know about it. I've mentioned it to all of them. I think it's really important, if you want to apply this to your day-to-day, to do so. That 2-time rule is I will ask someone to hang out 2 times. Obviously things happen, people aren't always available, and they can say no. However, if they are not reciprocating, rescheduling, or making an active effort to make plans with me again, I will not reach out to that person again, because at that point the ball's in their court. I've tried a few times to reach out to them, and if they're invested in the friendship relationship, they will also make the time for you. Make sure to recognize the importance of a healthy friendship and a healthy relationship. Oftentimes people will oversee that, because I get it, there are so many factors that go into friendships and relationships, and it can be so difficult to oversee things when you're the one in that present moment. But hold yourself accountable. Recognize how certain things make you feel If you are continuously feeling upset after leaving a hangout with a friend, or they don't make you feel good about yourself and are always putting you down, maybe it's time to detach yourself. Another lesson that I've learned that I personally have struggled with, and I think it truly stems from a place of anxiety, is to stop people pleasing. I'm someone who suffers from this. I love to make those around me happy. People pleasing often involves suppressing your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires in order to align them with someone else's expectations of you. But do you ever stop to ask yourself, how does this impact me? Because if you're embracing your authenticity and your genuine true self, then you're able to establish those deeper and more meaningful connections with people, which is so much more important. And it took me so much time to realize the value of true connections for people and those who cheer me on the side and want the genuine best for me. And I think that's really what matters at the end of the day. What someone else may think of you, and this has been said over and over again, what someone else may think of you really does not matter. If you are happy with who you are, then others will love you for it too. And it is important to understand that surrounding yourself with authentic people is equally as important as being authentic yourself. For example, some of you may be wondering, what does that look like? And that's people that applaud you from the sidelines and push you to be the best version of yourself. Authentic people will also be there to support you when you are at your lowest points. And people that enjoy your presence, even when you may not be as happy as you always are, and don't always need you to be super excited and uplifted, those are people you do not want to let go of in your life. Another lesson that I've learned is to take risks. It doesn't hurt to work towards something that you're passionate about or uncertain about. And this podcast is an example of that. Honestly, it took a lot for me to put myself out there. I had so much fear of the unknown and potential judgment that could come with it. But at the end of the day, if you're passionate about a specific cause, or you're passionate about a specific job, or helping others, or being whatever it may be, you want to be an actor, a singer, or whatever your passion stems from, go for it. There's nothing to lose at the end of the day, and no one's going to judge you for trying. And if you don't take that risk and you don't go for whatever your dream may be, you're always going to regret that. And I assure you, you will never regret trying. It may not be how you expected it to be, but you put yourself out there. Another really important lesson that I learned in 2023 is to be confident in yourself. This took a little while for me to come to terms with, because everyone is going to be insecure in some kind of way. Whether it be you're insecure with your personality, your physical appearance, your ability to excel within a classroom. Everyone has so many amazing qualities about them. It's more so discovering where you stand out. You may not be aware of that, but you have so many silent lovers. I remember my dad telling me that there are so many people that are secret lovers of who you are. And you may not be aware of how amazing you are in so many different ways, but there's so many people out there that admire you for so many different reasons. Be confident in yourself and love yourself unconditionally. Because if you don't love yourself, then how can anyone else love you? I think it's important to recognize that oftentimes we can love others because we don't love ourselves. And it's because you're craving that love in return that you don't have for yourself. I also think it's worth noting that negative thought patterns are not always your fault. Maybe something was said to you years and years ago, but stuck with you until this day, and it's a reoccurring negative thought pattern that you have. Negative thoughts can also come accompanied by many other emotions, such as jealousy, sadness, anger. There's so many emotions that can translate to these negative thoughts. However, it's how you choose to navigate the way you're feeling. And maybe that means letting go of something or someone. Self-love isn't just Netflix, bubble baths, going shopping. It's having those uncomfortable conversations with yourself. When you start to know yourself better, it becomes easier to say yes and no to things because you know what truly makes you happy. I have a few ways that I'm going to suggest for each of you to combat this issue and how you can work on improving your self-love. So stop this video right now, take out a piece of paper, and write down a list for yourself. Think about all of the negative emotions that you have or the things that make you feel insecure about yourself. On the first line, write down what these thoughts do to you physically. Do they make your palms sweaty? For the second line, write down how often you're having these feelings. Is it once a day, a few times a day, once a week, once a month, once every few months? Write down how often these thoughts occur for you. Ask yourself, what are these thoughts stopping you from doing? Is it success? Is it calmness? Is it happiness? What is it holding you back from doing? Now, go back to that list and replace that negative thought with a positive one. I'll give you guys a super simple example. Let's say you wrote down, I am dumb. But you can replace that by saying, I have a university degree. And by doing that, you are translating that negative thought pattern to be something a little more positive. Or if you're unhappy with your physical appearance, you can change that negative thought and say, you know what, I'm active, I take care of my health, I take care of my skin and my hair, I do everything that I can. Another really important question is, would you surround yourself with someone who talks to you the way that you talk to yourself? Another approach that you can take is picture talking to a younger version of yourself. Would you speak to the younger version of you the way you do now? Would you be so negative and hard on yourself? Probably not. So next time you say something to yourself or are unhappy with who you are, imagine saying that to the younger version of you, or how you would feel as a young child hearing those things. Another important lesson is work-life balance. Too often there's so much pressure to gym, see friends, do well in school, get a job, have enough money to go here, travel, look a certain way. There is such an overload of expectations, and that can be so overwhelming and exhausting. Allow yourself time to relax. Don't overbook yourself in the name of having fun. Because if you're working a 9 to 5 all week and you're cramming all these plans for the weekend, and by the end of that final week you are so burnt out, you don't even feel any sigh of relief towards the end. I'm so thankful for so many of these lessons that I've had, and these experiences have truly shaped me into a completely different person, and I'm forever grateful because at the end of the day, whether they were positive or negative, there's always something you can use for yourself out of that, and there's always going to be takeaways, whether you see it in the moment or not. I think it's just important to understand that that was a building block to shaping you into the person that you need to become. Even though I've only mentioned just a few lessons from this year, there are so many other takeaways that I've had, and if you ever have any questions or want to reach out to me, you can message me on my Instagram channel at Pamela Draglov. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I really would love to hear some of the lessons you all have had in the comments below, so make sure to comment them down below. Thank you for watching today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!